Galaxy Cruises and Tours.
Hello and welcome. This is Ken Mayer with Galaxy Cruises and Tours. And I'm excited today to present to you some information regarding traveling with some of the small ships, the small river cruise ships, as well as smaller ocean going ships. And our information today will hopefully be helpful for those of you that are looking for this type of experience, give you some insight as to some of the destinations they go, and of course talk about a little bit of the group programs that we are offering as well in this world. So I think I would like to start by saying technology always challenges me, especially sometimes in the morning. So get my slideshow here going so we can start. So today is about small ship cruising. I appreciate your time here spending with us, and hopefully we can help get you on one of these wonderful vacation experiences. I would like to start off a little bit about us here at Galaxy. If you're new to us, welcome. If you've traveled with us before, thank you for your business. I'd like to just start with a simple question. Why would I use Galaxy? Why would I use a travel agent? And there's a lot of reasons why beyond this screen, but I think the simplest thing to tell you is we have a very experienced team of professional people that will help you. They help you make all your plans and bookings and travel arrangements and ensure that your experience is top notch. In general, we feel like we save you time, save you hassle, probably save you money as well. We are very knowledgeable in all of travel, the booking processes, the different types of products and experiences that exist that make sometimes planning travel a little bit more confusing. So I think we can cut through a lot of that cloudiness and find you the right fit for your travel needs and budget. We do, of course, have access to a wide variety of travel options, and this would include the ability to book a lot of those specials that you might get in your inbox, especially when it comes from a cruise line. Almost all the prices are pretty level. There's usually some extra value or some extra perks that we may have, especially when it comes to certain types of travel. And maybe most importantly, we're really with you from start to finish, which really includes when you're traveling. And that's probably the most important time that you might need some help from us. So we are literally just a phone call or a text message away if you're traveling and have a problem. And I think that is very important in today's travel world to know that we have your back. And of course, we're right here in the area. We're local, and we're really ready to help you plan the travel of your dreams. So appreciate your time with me this morning. And let's get into it here on these small ship cruises. So what's so big? What's huge about these small ship cruises? Well, I do think the size matters when you are looking for something that is more intimate and immersive. And if you've been on a big megaship cruise, you've probably felt like you've been lost in the crowd, maybe a number. And that's exactly what small ship cruises bring to the table, is a more personalized experience, more immersive, definitely more intimate. No crowds, no lines. It's fantastic. Most of the small ship cruise companies are very inclusive. So you're not going to have a lot of those extra costs that you might have on a bigger ship. It's all going to be more upfront in your price. And then, of course, the real key here is access to these smaller, quaint, less traveled ports or locations. And I really feel like that is the big part of these small ship cruises. And I think maybe to add, most of these small ship cruise operators are kind of positioning themselves really in this premium to luxury travel market. They're not going to be the same cost as these big mega ships that go to the same places at the same time. They're going to be a little bit higher dollar. They're going to be in that premium and luxury travel experience. Makes for a more personalized service, that extra personal space on the ship, and certainly better overall quality with attention to the detail. When we again talk about more of that inclusive value, the overall value that's included in the price, I think you're going to find most of them will include drinks, Wi-Fi, and sightseeing. Not every one of these include all that, but many of them do. You'll also find a little bit more customized sightseeing tour program, which I think is the best way I can explain that is when they're dealing with maybe only 100 guests. It's a lot different experience versus trying to plan a sightseeing program for 3,500 or 5,000 people. So these sightseeing tour programs are really a lot more customized. They're a little bit more immersive in the destination. And then again, a little bit more inclusive. A lot of times they include transfers and other logistics, sometimes even such as airfare, etc. And I know it sounds odd to be on a smaller ship and have more space, but really what you find on these ocean ships or river ships is the room space is typically bigger than on the mega ships. The public areas are less crowded because you have less people. So we find that you have more personal space on board these smaller ships. Of course, there's a variety of room choices and room views that exist with each company. But in general, the rooms are bigger. There's essentially no line anywhere. And there's almost always a deck chair or umbrella by the pool on these smaller ships. More public space, really, because there are less passengers. And I do feel like that the atmosphere is a lot more relaxed. Not that I would call it less formal. But I don't think you're going to have a formal dress requirement on most of these. It's really going to be kind of a laid-back, casual dress, but the whole atmosphere is very relaxed. And of course, it does foster this environment of creating a stronger connection between the guest and the cruise. And I think that that is important, and certainly the experience that I've had when I've been able to go on these. Less people usually means a more personal experience with your crew and your destination. So again, with that food and drink kind of being included, they also are typically more elevated, better food, better service. And, while I think food is always subject to a personal interpretation and evaluation, I think you find more variety. You tend to find a little bit more venues for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Almost all of them have included 24-hour room service. If you have an alternative dining venue on the smaller ship, it, again, is typically included in your cost. No additional cost that you might have on a mega ship. And there's almost always a no reservation or very hassle-free process for your seating to get into these dining venues. Again, with a smaller capacity, it's just easier for them to serve everyone in a good environment. And again, usually all the drinks are included, but for sure, I think you're going to find coffee, tea, and water and cappuccino and soft drinks will be included on almost all of the small ships. But alcoholic beverages can very well be included as well. Or if for some reason they would not be included, they are certainly made more available through a package that you can purchase or just purchase at a more reasonable rate per drink. Again, every cruise line's a little different here with that. But for the most part, we see this be a little bit more attainable from a cost perspective in a small ship environment versus a mega ship. Again, we talked about that better sightseeing, maybe a little bit more immersive in the destination. But I think maybe the most important thing is a lot of times it is included. But should it not be included, we find that their programs are typically a little more affordable, a little bit more customized for the smaller group of travelers. And I will think you'll see more private excursion offerings in a smaller ship environment. And that tends to lead along with that type of travel experience. Those travelers that are looking for a better, more elevated travel experience are also probably more inclined to do a private excursion. Of course, all of the scenic or cultural experiences that are in that region that you're going to are really crafted for that region's experience. And again, I think this is a big difference between mega ship design on excursions versus small ship. The small ships really do it a lot better. And of course, I mentioned that easy on and off the ship. It's just there's no line. You just walk on and off on the small ships. It's really incredible. If there is some of the ocean ships have tendering where the ship is anchored or harbored offshore and they bring you ashore on a smaller boat. Again, that is way more efficient and much easier than when you look at a mega ship. And of course, ship activities will vary, but I think most importantly, you can count on very personalized service, much more attentive crew interaction, very intimate public areas, and there is never a line or crowd for anything on a small ship for sure. There are ocean ships and there are river ships, and while these are all a little different, I think because of their size, they're going to offer you views that are much more up close and personal. You're going to go into these smaller ports or these off beaten path locations. If you dock or tender, you're much closer to shore, you're much closer to the center of the town or village. And again, easy on, easy off everywhere. That does not change on a small ship. And again, I think when you look at the region that you're going to be cruising to, they're going to bring the must-see spectacular sites really in focus. And while there's either a theme or perspective for that reason, I think they're going to focus on that site, on the culture, and you're going to find attention to the detail on the itinerary. That's the main reason for their stop, and they're going to bring that right to the front and center for you to enjoy. I feel like I can say on almost all small ships, they tend to kind of be that once in a lifetime experience, especially in that destination. You're there for a reason. They're focusing on that personal service and an intimate setting for you to enjoy that region of the world. And that's what makes these smaller things so special. And so kind of when we talk about, well, where can you go on these? And I have to say, you really can go about anywhere in the world that there's water. Water meets the land. You're likely going to find a small ship experience in this area. The ocean ships obviously have to be on the ocean, the coastal areas of the world. But I think many of them are selling to these exotic or bucket list destinations. Many of them are continuing to build ships. They're expanding more in year-round destinations such as the Caribbean. They're expanding some of their seasons to places like Europe, Australia, New Zealand. Even Antarctica has begun to expand a little bit as well. But I think maybe some of the most popular small ship experiences are definitely in Europe. Between the river cruises and the ocean cruises, Europe is a hot spot. But even the United States has a lot of small ship river cruise type presence. There has been continued expansion in that area. And so if you're maybe not looking to do the travel abroad on a longer flight, there are some great products here in the U.S. Specifically, I would say the Northeast and the Northwest. The Columbia River is great, but we do have a new ship now on the Mississippi. So there are some Midwest cruises that you could do as well. But I think a lot of people are really focused on Europe. Europe is a great place to experience some of these small ship programs. And with that, there's a lot of companies. And so maybe I can give you a little bit of advice on some of the ones that we work with closer, what sets them apart and what makes them so good. So I've kind of got a list here of the ones, the ocean lines that I think are great are Windstar, Azamara, Regent, Silver Sea, and Viking. Now, I'll mention something about Viking here in a second, but um, these are anywhere from premium to luxury level brands. You are going to see them cost more, but they have great food, they have great service, they are a more all-inclusive type environment, and it's spectacular. If you look at the river cruise, again, I'm probably focused a little more here on Europe, but the river cruise companies definitely in Europe are Avalon, AMA Waterways, Uniworld, Viking, and then Celebrity Cruise Lines, which is kind of in that mega ocean ship category right now. They are introducing two new ships to the European rivers in 2027. Those bookings are actually available now if you are interested in a Celebrity river cruise. They're not sailing yet. I can't really tell you much more about them other than they're taking bookings and they have their itineraries announced for their first two ships in 2027. So again, on the riverside here, all of these are premium luxury. Uniworld is probably a little more boutique. I would put them in a luxury category. Avalon, AMA, Viking, and Celebrity, I would place more in a traditional river cruise, European river cruise, but that is also still a premium level travel experience and inclusive. So a couple of things for some planning here. The key with a small ship makes sense. You got to book early. They don't have as many rooms to fill, and they do fill up faster than the others. So if I had to pick a timeline, I would say 12 to 18 months is not unheard of on a small ship. Sometimes that's too early to know all of the costs for everything, as airfare usually doesn't come into play until about 6 to 10 months in advance. But if you wait to get within that 6 to 10 month window, a lot of rooms or space could be gone on these smaller ships. So booking early is key. You hear me talk about this a lot, but book early, don't miss out, get what you want, get the date you want, the room you want, etc. Number two, join one of our group programs. We recognize how fantastic these experiences are. We hand select certain ones, certain destinations, and we build our group program around it. Many of our programs have a travel host with you. We customize some of the travel, the logistics, the flights, the transfers, the sightseeing. Everyone gets involved in that planning. We talk about things. We make it a little more enhanced experience. So join one of our group programs. That's safe, it's fun, it's a fantastic way to travel. I will always encourage you to enhance this cruise vacation by extending your stay. Do a pre-cruise stay or a post-cruise stay where your ship starts and ends. They are the cities or the ports or the villages that these ships start and end in are fantastic, and you probably need a little bit more time to enjoy them more. There are also a lot of themed experiences around these smaller ships, culinary, wine, scenery, etc. They also offer what's called a cruise tour combination, where you'll get some land and cruise built in through the cruise line. It is really a great way to experience these programs. And we do a little bit of that same thing with our customized group programs when we do a small ship cruise. So those are my planning trips. And of course, don't delay, just go. You're going to miss out if you wait. The Mark Twain quote resonates greatly with me. 10 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones that you did do. So throw away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover. An incredible quote. Don't hesitate. Let's go. There's a lot of great things out there for you. And I think too, it's hard to know what you do, and I think the best thing to do is call us. Let's have some conversation about what you're looking to do. We can point you in the direction of many of the programs that we have. And all you need to do is just give us a call. And I would like to mention a few of the small ship cruises that we have coming up for next year. We do have a European river cruise with Avalon Waterways doing the Danube. That will be in August of 2026. We also have a couple of the Windstar cruises doing in October. We have one of their ships that will do a Venice to Rome cruise along the Dalmatian coast. So this is going to be along the Adriatic Sea. You're going to get Venice, Croatia, Montenegro. There's a stop in Sicily, a stop in Sorrento, Italy, which would give you an opportunity to visit Pompeii, and then the ship actually ends in Rome. So again, just that cruise itinerary right there is fantastic to do some additional time in Venice, as well as some ending time in Rome. So a great way to see a lot of Italy and Croatia on a small ship cruise. We also have Greece and Turkey cruise tour with Windstar. That will also be in October of 26. And that is going to be a cruise tour program that includes Cappadocia in Turkey. Very unique landscape in Cappadocia. They have some balloon trips that visit the area. So this is a cruise tour. You have some land and cruise with it. Of course, the Greek cruise itinerary is fantastic. You get to see historic places such as Ephesus and stunning views in Santorini. The ship actually cruises through the Corinth Canal. So an incredible cruise itinerary tied in with some Turkey and Cappadocia. That will be in October of 26. And we're just beginning the stages of planning in October of 27. I know that seems like a long way off, but yes, 2027. We have that same Greece itinerary on Windstar with Ephesus and Mykonos and Santorini and going through the Corinth Canal and ending in Athens. That one is going to have a little bit of Greece, but it's actually, a little bit of Turkey, but then it's going to tie in more of Greece and potentially an island stay afterwards. So just really some incredible opportunities with our groups. We have multiple departures with all of these companies visiting all kinds of places in the world. So please give us a call. We would love to help you with your next small ship cruise. They are an incredible experience. Please give my team a call. We'd love to help you. And thank you for joining in. Look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.
Galaxy cruises and tours, helping connect you to the world of